Let's wait a little bit.
So we are live. We're just doing some little bit of pre-testing. I want to thank everyone for coming in. We're just waiting for Darrell to get up and running. He's the technical advisor on this one. Let him do his thing. So I'm waiting on him.
Yes. Give us 2 seconds.
Such a nice space too, Neil.
Yes.
The Salt Cave is a beautiful space. You can feel it when you come in here. Yeah.
Best thing to shoot a podcast and live at is surrounded by nature. A lot of people go to beaches because they don't realize there's a lot of negative ions there and grounding. So we're just waiting. I can't wait to hop in. There's so much happening
in the game. Let's go, baby.
All right.
Guys, welcome to the Elevated Health and Wellness Podcast. Today, this Thursday, we are coming live from Robinson Mall at the Full Body Balance Spa Store. We are in the downstairs location. There also is an upstairs location that is beautiful as well. Come here and get your great products, your salt lamps, your crystals, whatever you need. Come back here in the relaxing salt cave. Look at us. I feel so good in the salt cave. I'm digging my feet in. It's like in the sand. Neil, you did something great here with these stores, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I'm so honored to have this. It's been years that been waiting for a crew to do a podcast with, and who better than to really join hands with people who you're in business with, and our goal is to, as a team, to retire together. So
yes.
I am super stoked to be doing this as a community, to take on where you actually have a full community effort where we can help each other get to the ultimate goal, to be the best person that we want to be on the inside out. And that starts with health. So I'm going to hand that off to you and let you do the theme of this podcast that I'm so honored to be in right now, and let you go with that, Darrell.
Okay, thank you. This is Darrell, Doobee, Warden, and we got Antonia Brown.
Awesome.
And Neil Nichols.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
And we are part of the Commonsense family. And we want to bring this podcast to you about health, about wellness. And this particularly hits home today. My god brother Jeffrey, he passed away this morning from diabetes. And I feel if I had some of these products, I probably could have helped him. But there's so many things in people's families, and usually diabetes goes through generations.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of the times is because the foods we're eating and the family foods, a lot of family recipes are handed down.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes a part of our DNA. We need to start supplementing the nutrition in our foods, because it's not the same foods that our grandparents that grew up with when the food was more natural. The less processed meats, less processed foods, stuff that you had to put in the refrigerator to keep cold because it would spoil. Now there's so many preservatives in our food. Like I think they had something out about a McDonald's hamburger that was left for 12 years and still looks the same.
Yes.
So we have to understand that in our lives, as things change and they're doing different things with the food, that we have to supplement our nutrition. And a lot of this has to do with a lot of the illnesses that we have as well. So I did want to give just sending love to the Powell family out there. And we all got to get our health together. We all got to really look out for one another. That's why I spread the word when it worked for me. I use a lot of these products, but this Brain Sense, the Men's Balance,
Mm-hmm.
also, and this is the Women's Balance and the Muscadine. I use these 3 on a daily basis. Also with some of the packets, the coffee packet and the CS Greens packet.
Mm-hmm.
The CS Greens is something that can help build our immune system up. Also, for me, it's helped me with weight loss.
Yes.
I see when I eat, after I drink that greens, immediately I start to my body starts to filter out some of that bad things that I'm eating. And I do feel lighter. And when I go to the gym, I definitely feel lighter. That's what I drink at the gym. Usually I mix that with a foundation for my joints, because I do get some pain in my joints and some swelling in my joints. And those two things have helped me so much. And also, I just wanted to share the word. We were talking about, the things, and it all leads to, Toni brought up a good thing. It all leads back to the gut.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Gut health.
Yes. So you wanted to talk a little bit about the gut health and how the product worked for you recently.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So our gut is where most of our immune system, almost really all of the immune system, is in the gut. And we don't realize that. This is new information to me. Most of my life, I had no clue. So we have to make sure that that part of our body is completely balanced. Now, backing up on that, if we're completely balanced and we take care of our gut, you might not get sick. I mean, I don't get sick. I'm not making any claims, but I've made adjustments in my life, and including these products, and I just don't get sick. But I've taken care of my gut. Now, recently, we were out, and I never get heartburn, but I had something, and I had immediate heartburn, and it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what was happening. So I took a gut sense, and I took that gut sense, and within minutes, like 5 minutes at the most, I was okay. I mean, it was.
Did you feel it like working for you?
I did. As I was sitting there, I felt it, and I felt better. I mean, I was just in a bad state, which is a rarity for me. So
do you think it stopped something that was about to happen, like an upset stomach that was about to come?
Absolutely, because the gut sense is probiotics. So if you give your body what it needs to work properly, it's going to work properly, and that's just what it did. So I was right back in the game, and I just felt great after that. And it was a surprise because I didn't know the product worked like that.
So the cool thing about gut sense, you take it sublingually, right under the tongue. It's designed to, like, for that immediate response to the gut being inflamed and everything. So when you take it, it's like an antacid.
So heartburn is
like heartburn. It's just a flare up. So it's designed to dissolve it and get to the problem. So there's two systems of that. There's gut sense, and then there's what's called optimizer.
Yes.
Gut sense you use, like you said, like would be on an emergency basis.
I had no idea it would work like that.
It's like the actual natural version of an antacid, but it does much more to calming the acids and so forth, and helping to repair the lining naturally through. It has a papaya extracts and so forth in it, so which we most people don't know in Jamaica. I grew up a lot on fruits like papaya and so forth. Papaya is great for the gut. It helps with anti flare ups. It does a lot when it comes to repairing the gut. A lot of people, when they have constipation, believe it or not, you want to eating papaya naturally would help that. So using the extracts in so many things that you can. What's so funny is that I remember as a kid, most of the ailments we had, we didn't go to the pharmacy. We actually went into our backyard.
Wow.
And a lot of the super fruits we had were soursop,
Soursop
leaves.
is great.
We know that are right out the soursop leaves right now is one of the biggest when it comes to the big C word. They're using that naturally, just the leaves, not even the fruits right now. So 60 to 70% of the super fruits that are on the market right now was in my backyard.
Wow.
So, and then coming here, what I noticed that most of the fruits and stuff, or the foods, most yards don't have fruit trees.
No.
I got here, I was just like, where are the fruit trees?
In Florida, you get the mango.
Right? Well, we grew up with neighbors, and every tree in our yard, or every tree in the neighborhood, had a purpose where you can eat or use it or something.
Neil, that goes to say what I said earlier. we
Back to
do not
nutrition.
have the same nutrition,
Yeah.
even as
Oh
in other
no!
countries.
They changed that in the 50s when they started changing food. 50s, 60s, 70s. They
Yeah.
started taking things. Foods was more processed now.
Mhm.
And gosh, my mother and I talked about this. How the food is so different.
It is.
And look at society. Look what's happening to us as
Yes.
people.
It's funny because now with my youngest one, we grew up. I watch every label that I bring to the table.
Mhm.
Everything that I didn't have to do that with my first two, my older ones, because 20 years ago you didn't have to dive in so much when it comes to the ingredients
Exactly.
because we were still
Right.
using somewhat natural foods. And now, highly processed, highly chemical foods, and not even if it's not processed. Another problem is that American foods are about 70% higher in toxicity when it comes to pesticides. It's a higher level of pesticides than foods across the world. We have a
Right.
heavy dose of pesticides that our government allows.
They let a lot get through. Go over to Europe. They let a lot get through over here.
So it's up to us as a nation, and it's up to us to really, when it comes to certain things with our foods, these manufacturers will not make it if you don't buy it. Personally, I stopped using certain brands across the board because
Wow.
I'm not going to support something that's going to be detrimental not to my body. But if we as an actual nation, if we said as a people, right, say enough is enough, they'll start the same regime that they do in Europe, where they don't allow chemicals in their foods.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, but we the people have to stand up for that.
Yeah.
We have to say enough and stop buying these foods. And then these manufacturers, like, you know what they're going to do? They're going to start making foods that's beneficial for our bodies. But, our FDA is not, obviously, we know it's not on our side as in our citizenship side. So our citizens have to say enough is enough and stop supporting these companies that are actually laughing to the bank
They are.
and producing. I'm going to say it, garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Our food has on the Richter scale when it comes to third world countries. We're no longer different when it comes to the quality of our foods, which that is what we need to survive.
Right.
Food is medicine. And I think when we get back to that routine, that food is medicine, actually know that, and start doing that in a society, we're going to get back to being healthy. Another thing I was reading the other day, when it comes to our drugs and so forth, the pharmaceutical industry, a large percentage of the drugs that are manufactured were synthesized from plants.
Right.
So,
I just had this conversation with my kids.
So they extract the actual makeup from the plant, synthesize it, and then sell it back to us
Right.
at a higher cost that is not on the same natural level when it comes to our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So we as a nation have to say enough is enough and start doing things that is going to be beneficial to our bodies and just not settle for less.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have to do as a nation and stop fighting against each other and, do what we need to do as far across the board. So that's my 2 cents.
We can go.
2 cents.
Well, we can go right into the brain sense from here because it really does. It starts up here with our way of thinking.
Yes.
Right.
Our way of thinking.
Here, the brain sense for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Our way of thinking. This brain sense. It definitely is a micronutrient.
Mm-hmm.
That helps the brain, and it helps people with CTE. It helps my son with his ADHD. Now, these are things I'm not a doctor, but these are things that I experienced myself using the product. My family, my own 18-year-old son, the experience he had with the product is amazing. And when it first worked for me, and I told the story on the last podcast of how the Bible was like I'm reading. It's like now I can't go without it. it's not because it's addicting, but I want that. I want that clarity in my
Sharpness,
brain. I
yes.
want that sharpness, especially in the world today. I mean, I have kids that I have to deal with. I have friends. I have several business ventures, and to keep that all going all in mind and keep that higher vibration. That's another thing. It helps my mood, and that thing to really that higher vibration that I need to be in to spread love and to be there for people
Yes.
is this brain sense helps me.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me that edge for maybe even like I'm gonna be honest. Come in here today. When I woke up and I got the news of my god brother Jeffrey's passing, nobody were prepared for it. It was definitely sudden, and then to know that he passed away from a disease such as diabetes, it really hurt me, and I took some brain sense. I took some time to just breathe and listen to music on the way out here and think about him. I cried, real tears, and I felt like when the brain cells started working, I feel like my mind was like, he's okay, he's in a better place. Keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. It gave me like the wherewithal to understand that things we have to transmute those energies. Like he's not passed away, he's here with us, and just transmuted energy. But I say, the brain sense changed that mood, put that
Yes.
sad mood that I was in, and literally changed that mood so I can, transmute that energy.
Process and
Right.
develop it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because this puts our brain back in balance to our God-given state that we're supposed to be in. We're supposed to be happy. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to be miserable. We are supposed to be happy.
It's funny you say that because, we do in our stores, we do a lot of counseling. It's not just, people come into our stores and looking for answers in a lot of things. Both on we know in dealing with being in the health and wellness industry, we have to recognize that there are different parts of health. There's a physical side of the body, and there's a chemical side of the body, and then also dealing on the metaphysical side of the body, which we can't deny anymore that doesn't exist. Now, if you look at all the pharaohs and you go back to looking at pharaohs and looking at their crowns and so forth, the metaphysical side, you notice that they had like a lot of rubies and they didn't have diamonds. Okay. They had stones that actually had energy or crystals in them that actually have energy. So our ancestors know that there's an energy side of the body.
Correct.
That we have to address. So unlike now, we were still growing our foods and getting the minerals that from the foods
Yes.
that we did 50 years ago. The basic thing is our mineral deficiency, and that's what Brain Sense for me, what it brought.
Right.
What it brought was because you're mineralizing the brain back and getting it back to balance. Like you said, naturally, we're naturally happy. So if you take away that mineral, so now you have an unbalanced mechanism trying to function the entire body.
Wow.
Of course you're going to be miserable.
So then add to that now not only the deficiency in our foods and the minerals. Now add to that you have one of the biggest epidemic, and we're surrounded and holding it right now, which are cell phones. And those things actually slow down how we produce energy in the body itself.
Why don't you talk about these bands that we wear?
That is so much to talk about when it comes to so grounding our body itself, the brain itself. If you feel a simple touch, that's electricity. So electricity needs a balance. You ever notice in nature you have yin and yang, positive and negative? In nature, we don't correlate that. We just think it's a cool thing for yin and yang. No, there is a balance there of energies. If you look at a battery has a positive charge and a negative charge. Our electronics, the byproduct of it, is the positive charge. So you hold in a cell phone, Fitbits, iPads, all these things, it actually slows down how the brain produces electricity. how it reaches out to nerve endings, how
we put these on our bodies. We put these on our bodies.
Your cell phones, it slows that down. I've done watches, Fitbits. The more electronics you have on your body, the weaker the nervous system. Because now picture something. Which one is going to draw more current? Something that's pulling 5G or something that's pulling a few amps? So when it comes to energy, we're off balance in that. So that in itself, so now combine our foods, combine the lack of minerals, and then we're adding electronics on top of that. We're slowing down the everyday process of how we heal. We're slowing down the process of how the brain communicates with the nervous system. We have no clue as a society of what we're doing, what electronics are doing to our bodies. And we prove that every day in our stores.
Somebody knows.
We do that. We prove that every day in our stores. I do simple strength tests showing the cell phone on the body and off the body, and people freak out because they don't realize the average person has a cell phone 16 to 18 plus hours a day on their bodies. So we're not talking teenagers yet. We're not talking kids yet. iPad, which has become the new babysitter.
Yes.
So we have to start looking at health in other parts of the body to be able to balance it. In the future, they're going to be using energy products to speed up that process. So we can now start that. We're in the infancy of what's about to come when it comes to repairing the body through using energy. So that's a whole nother story that we're going to talk about, a whole nother part. The main thing, though, why we're starting this podcast is that every product that's here has changed a part of our lives in some form or the other for the positive. The only negative, one of the key things when it comes to using, for me, Commonsense Products, is when I run out.
Or like when
I run out. It's like literally
the shake that you keep bragging about.
I ran out 3 months ago and with BrainSense, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I was stalking my mailman. I'm not even joking with you. I was just like, there's no way.
Tell about how much of the BrainSense you sell right out of the store.
We sell lots of BrainSense. One of the reasons why, once a person gets on it, they don't realize what's missing until you take the product. Then once it kicks in, you start to realize at that point how off balance you were. I am multitasking now with BrainSense. I am doing projects that I would never be able to take on. We're launching a new website. There's 5 to 7 different things happening, and I'm able to do that all while running around with a 2-year-old. I call him my teenager because he's on BrainSense also. My schedule is very busy. My wife is taking on. She's working at the college. She just took on a major department. There's some wonderful things that are happening.
She's doing great. This has helped her a lot. We'll have to talk about how women's balance has changed.
I would love to. I'm going to bring her on the show and have a women's perspective of what women's balance does. So the cool thing with Commonsense Products is that we have a product for almost all aspects of the body that cross-references into other aspects of the body.
Yes.
So you have to take care of the brain. It is the master organ of the body. It is the one organ that actually tells the body and heals the body. If it's running inefficient, the body is going to run inefficient. So picture something that should be running on 4G, and it's not even running on 1G.
Got to run your C cleaner and clear your registry.
It's open. And now along comes BrainSense. Control Alt Delete. It wipes the things out and start over. Now we're laughing because we're experiencing what's true happiness is. I wasn't able to do this 9.5 months ago.
No, my goodness.
I wasn't able to multitask and find. What I love about what it brings to the table, it forces you to find the good in everything.
That's funny, but
it's true.
that's just like the example I gave.
That's what you said. If you're happy, I don't care how. Now it's kind of back to being into the law of life. Have you ever seen happy people being bullies?
Never.
No.
Okay, right? Have you ever seen happy people hurting happy people?
No.
Never.
Okay, so it goes back to being when you're happy, a lot of things fall in line with the body. The body, again, higher, elevated consciousness, everything's coming. The brain is functioning better. It's reaching out to nerve endings as it's supposed to really get the body back to balance. So you have to take care of this first. And what we're missing, the major thing we're missing is the minerals in our foods. So that
one
comes
thing I'd
back
like to
to
add,
balance.
when you were talking about how it makes the nerve endings connect. So since we're so motivated to do new things now because of brain sense, we're creating new connections.
Yes,
We're making a new synapses in our brain. We're literally rewiring ourselves any way we want.
And you're doing it happily. And that's the thing, it's when you're happy, energy flows to where it's supposed to. Our society does not look at those aspects when it comes to health. We don't look at the electronics. We are starting to now, the majority of us are starting to go now, okay, we're looking at our foods and going, this food is medicine.
Right.
Period. Unfortunately, we've done more with indulgence. We have all these fancy restaurants that's filled with fancy stuff.
Plate is this big.
Plate is this big. And got that $200 mohawks, tomahawks. The top. That I get it.
Right.
But it comes back to being balanced. So one of the reasons why I named the company was Full Body Balance. I wanted to bring to the table all aspects of health, which is the chemical side of the body, which the supplements, the awesome, phenomenal. I have never in my life, in all the 50, about to be 51 in a few days, have dealt with supplements that I've seen the drastic changes in people's lives.
Yes.
Not just mine. So I just want to say thank you, Common Sense. Thank you to the crew that the universe brought us together to be able to be doing this.
Growing.
Our team is growing.
Reach out.
Our community is growing.
Yes, it is. It is. It's growing.
And that's another thing what I love about with Common Sense. Not only the awesome products, there's a business side to it. That if every company in the world took on the same concept as what Common Sense is doing right now, there will be no lack of money. And not only would there be no lack of money, we would also have an inter-community network of people communicating on a daily basis to help grow each other, not just on the wealth side of our lives.
Right.
We can't talk
about health.
The wealth almost is even though it's a given, it's like the least of this whole thing. Really, it's how much we've grown to people.
It is. We know it's. I know wealth is a tool. Okay.
Right.
I know we need wealth.
This is priceless.
And I want to be able to bring things to the table to really show what we truly are. Okay. And I think based on our education, I was actually going through a couple people in the stores, talking to them. I'm taking notes, and I will say to them, "Hey guys, have anyone in the store ever sold you anything?" And they thought about it, and I went down 3 people today. Have we ever said, "Oh, you need to buy this," or "We have you"? And they thought about it, and they're like, "No, you haven't." And I'm saying, "Yes, we don't," because it comes down to education.
Yes.
Right.
And it comes down to being our poster. I am the poster of what I want to bring on the table. I'm not perfect, but what I'm trying to do is show people that we can find balance. It's just a different mindset. And that's what I love about what Common Sense and just the entirety, it's a community effort.
It's a community effort. You're right. It is. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It really
truly is. So, really and truly, it's what we're doing today. There's so much that we can talk about when it comes to health. There's other things. There's other product lines that we're going to be bringing in through Common Sense. There's new things on the horizons. We have a convention coming up, Valley Forge.
Yes.
That's February 9th and 10th. The 9th and the 10th.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'll be representing for Common Sense. Looking to see those NFL players who, suffer from CTE, who need this.
It is. There's so many wonderful things that can come out.
Can help so many
What
people.
I love about with what we do, we have a product that from the cradle, from 1 year old on up until we expire, that everyone should be partaking on and getting the benefit of having what's a mineralized micronutrition brain feels like. Because I can't. I'm glad we're not the only ones shouting it on top of the mountains.
No, remember how you used to feel before that? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, what's up? What's next? What can we do? What can we create?
Right. And that's what it's brought to my life, is that I'm able to go, oh, there's a problem. No problem. Let's go to the solution. Let's figure out the solution instead of, oh crap, there's a problem. No, it was like, oh, okay, let's handle this, and I'm able to do that, even down to I don't like my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, I leave it around a lot. That's my thing. They call the lost phone Neil. I do not like electronics. So it's funny though, because when I leave it, I can go back and backtrack and know exactly what's happening. Things that I'm organized now. I'm getting up every day and just finding the true zest of life and serving a purpose doing it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right,
good job,
Neil. Yes. Is there anything you guys want to add to say to the people before we sign off here?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. You can go to negativeionstore.com. You can come in the Mall of Robinson, right in Pittsburgh, PA. We have 2 stores upstairs, right beside Abercrombie and Fitch. We're right beside Solo Salon, two sides of the mall. And I am very, very honored to be doing this. And I can't wait to be doing this on the beaches of the world.
Yeah.
Soon, too.
Manifesting.
Highest level.
Right.
So thank you guys.
God's attention for everybody.
Really and truly, reach out, leave comments if you have any questions, guys. Engage. We will be more than happy to answer them for you, and point you in the right direction. My father-in-law made my wife a plaque, and it says, "When one teaches, two learn." And I've kept that concept with me every single day. You can learn from everyone.
Yes.
You may not grow from everyone, but you can learn and take that, and let's grow and be the best versions of ourselves. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week on the Elevated Health and Wellness Show, and I'm so happy to be here.
Me too.
Me too.
Sending love. Don't forget to watch Doobee's Higher Vibrations Cooking Show.
Excellent.
Page 1 TV.
Dude, I gotta come throw down on my show, man. We gotta get together.
Don't forget to watch me and my brother Neil on the Stephanie Smith Show, also on the Page 1 TV network. And he does a great demonstration on that show of the negative ion band.
Yes.
So if you want to see how this really works in real time, in real life, please go watch the Stephanie Smith Show. It's right there. You can get it on demand on Page 1 TV network, and you'll see it says Neil Nichols Negative Ion Band. You can just click on that, and you can watch that as well.
Right, on the Stephanie Smith Show.
On the Stephanie Smith Show. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you soon. Thank you, Facebook. We love you.
Thank you.
We are just, I'm so happy.
Me too. It's happy and grateful.
Happy and
you
grateful.
wake up every day like this.
You have a great day, guys.
Thank you.